Hi there. So you would agree with me that if you're an adult, maybe with family, with kids, and you are doing 9 to 5, one of the things you find difficult is your time, how you manage your time. In fact, your time doesn't belong to you. And especially when you're preparing for an exam, it's one of the frustrating things. It's like a task. Okay, you're not even worried about the exam. You are worried about how you would manage your time and get your time to, study for your exam and stuff like that. So here I put together some steps you can take that would be of help to you, whether you're preparing for any exam or you're preparing for CBAP. But this has helped me to prepare for my exams, be it Scrum exams, be it CBAP, be it PMI, PMP exam. So the first question you need to ask yourself is this: what do I need to study? This means that you need to have an idea of the max or the volume of what you need to study, be it the test, be it resources online, be it on Google or YouTube. So this means that at this point you must have gathered whatever resources, you must have listed them somewhere, maybe on your laptop or on a sheet of paper, to tell yourself, so that at a glance you know that I need to go through this, go through that, and go through that. It gives you an idea of where you are going and expectations. Another thing you need to ask yourself is this: how much study hours do I need? This is very important, because today you give in 2 hours, tomorrow you give in 3 hours, and you don't even know if those hours are being accounted for, or if those hours will be enough, or if you've even made up for the number of hours you've planned to study. So you can't just run blindly. You need to have a target of how many hours do I need to study in a day, in a week, or in a month. And you need to track those, because at the end of the day you want to know, has the number of hours increased or reduced. If they are increasing or if they are not moving, you know that there is trouble. That means you're not studying enough or you're not meeting your target. You go back to the drawing board, then you know what to do about it. Then also another thing is this: I ask myself, how many months do I want to prepare for my exam? How many months, how many weeks, or even days? Because beforehand you've already given yourself a target. Like, okay, this is January, I want to take this exam by December. So how many months do I have from January to December? When you are aware of the number of hours you need to study, the number of months or weeks you need to study towards your exam, it gives you clarity. You don't have to grapple in the dark. Even when you are not sure, it's good to work with a target, so that even if you don't meet it, maybe 2 months or a month before time, you practically know if you are able to sit for this exam. When you have clarity on the time you need to study, the month, the weeks, and when you have like what you need to study and your target month on when to sit for the exam, you move to the next stage. So the next thing is this: I ask myself, how many hours are there in a day, in a week, month, and year? This could look or sound trivial. You would need to harness, you would need to build up some skills if you need to take some exams. Would ask yourself, how many hours are there in a day? 24 hours, right? How many hours can I give for this exam, apart from everything I have to do, work, maybe I have to take the kids out for this and do that. Yes, at a high level, when you look at it, you tell yourself, oh, I don't have time. But really, when you look at it critically, closely, you know that you have 30 minutes in a day. 30 minutes is enough for you to study, is enough for you to do a simulator, is enough for you to check something online, right? Don't worry, I have like detailed plan for you here, so don't get all worked up. Now, when you are aware of how many hours are there in a day, in a week, or in a month, or even in a year, the next thing you ask yourself is this: out of the 24, how many hours are mine? So we are taking it from the granular level. We'll just forget about the week, the month, the year. Okay, let's do it simple so that you'll be able now to take care of the rest. You know that there are 24 hours in a day, right? Now you break those 24 hours down to what you do in a day. Apart from doing that, when you are done breaking that down and stuff, you keep them by the side. Then you ask yourself, how many of these hours in 24 are mine? Like, how many hours in 24 hours can I dedicate to myself? I know that they are mine and mine alone, that I can do whatever I want to do conveniently without anybody bothering me. And this is how you take care of that. One, you ask yourself, maybe if you are driving, fine, but if you have if you take the bus, excellent. You write that down. When you are taking the bus, what happens at that particular time? Break time at work, how many hours do you have for break time? I know some people like, you don't need to do stuff at break time and stuff, but if you have to sacrifice your break time to get an exam done, why not? Then, how many hours of sleep time do I have? Yes, I know that we have like 8 hours or 6 hours of max or sleep in a day, but also if you can sacrifice some of those hours, fine. And just to remind you, as a disclaimer, I'm not paid by Scrum.org, PMI, or even IIBA. I am just sharing my experience. And also remember your health conditions and stuff like that, so that you don't have to fall ill in preparation for your exam. You just have to be moderate with whatever you do. So remember, you ask yourself, how many hours of sleep do I get in a day? This does two things for you, telling you, do you get adequate sleep or do you get too much of sleep? Or are you in between? Now, you ask yourself, how many hours do I have on the telly? Nobody asks you not to watch telly. I'm just trying to give examples, Then also you ask yourself, how many hours do I spend on my phone? Yes. Apart from scrolling through social media, apart from calling family and friends and stuff like that, at a point in life, you just need to withdraw from the crowd, or do stuff for some months, then you go back, right? Now, and then you ask yourself, how many hours on social activities, exercises, outing, hangouts do I do in a week or in a day? You see, we are now moving from day to week to month, even down to years, even without mentioning those. This is just trying to make you to be aware of how many hours you own, like it's personal to you without any interruption, and how many hours that you give to your family, to your friends, to social media, to work. And this makes you aware of how many hours you actually have in a day, in a week, in a month, to yourself. And you can imagine, while you're on the bus, you can just listen to podcasts about something, okay? Instead of scrolling through your phone and on stuff. And even while driving, instead of maybe having the radio on, you can also listen to maybe a lecture or tutorial while you're driving to work, which is safe. And also your break time. Let's say that your break time is 30 minutes. You can as well rest for 10 minutes and you take the other minutes to, look through stuff. Then another thing is, how many hours do you spend on the telly? How many hours do you spend scrolling through social media, making long calls? So instead of spending those times watching telly for maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes or stuff, you can reduce them, or you can even do away with them. But you need that for your work-life balance, right? So you can reduce those number of hours and invest. So what we call it in economics is, I think, forgotten alternative, right? So instead of having those long hours or stuff, you take some and invest in your exam preparation time. This way you create a balance. All these hours that you are sacrificing, it's just within a period of time. Usually you ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is the end goal? What do I want to achieve? That is why whenever you are trying to study and you remember, I have to check my social media, you remember, I need to do this actually, because social media would always be there, and you write your exam and exit, right? So that's why also your social activities, hangout and stuff, you can either go and stay for a while and come back and continue with your study, or you don't go at all and you leave it for later. You can always postpone, Then another thing is this: you ask yourself, how many days am I away from the exam? So you've already set a target for the exam, and each time you need to be tracking yourself. Each day you make sure that you meet up with your target. How many hours did I spend? How many hours more do I have to go? Or how many months more do I have to go towards the exam? It makes you to be alert, knowing that, am I moving closer or away with the number of hours I'm investing? Okay, so see it as an investment. See it as you are putting coins in a piggy bank and you want it to be heavy at the point that you break it, right? Now, what you will do next is this: match the time you have come up with as free to the time you need for the exam. So by the time, because when you say break time is this number of hours, but I want to invest this number of hours studying for the exam. Time on the bus is this number of hours, I want to spend this number of hours studying. Time on telly is this number of hours, I want to, and so on and so forth. You come up with a number of maybe total number of hours in a day or in a week or whatever. And you've already calculated how many hours you need towards the exam, or how many months and stuff. So you are able to match your free hours to your exam time, and even tells you that the time you have, the target you have, are you able to meet it or not, at a glance. Then when you are done doing that, you keep at this time as much as possible. Yeah, I know that it is very, very difficult to say I need to keep this, but honestly, if you keep reminding yourself that this needs to be done as soon as possible, or no stress or no pressure, but it's important you do it because you want to move to other things. I know that the next posts I have, or like a post I'm planning to do, is on preparing yourself for the exam, and I hope I see you there. And hopefully these steps, they are of support or importance to you, and if so, please subscribe, like, and leave me a comment. See you. Bye.